You can cling too long or quit too soon. Both leave you empty. The paradox has followed me through every season of life. I remember a night driving through Melbourne's eastern roads after rain. The streetlights bent in puddles across the bitumen, gold reflections trembling as the car rolled slowly past. The wipers cleared the windshield, then the blur returned, a rhythm of grasping and releasing, holding visibility for a moment, then letting it go back into haze. It felt like a picture of my own life, gripping, releasing, never certain which was wisdom and which was waste. There are times when I've held on long past the moment something was alive, gripping tightly because I thought letting go would mean failure. Pride whispered that release meant weakness. Fear told me I'd lose everything if I loosened my hand, and so I kept my grip, even as the thing I clung to turned brittle, even as it drained me. And there are times when I've released too quickly, impatient or afraid, only to realize later that if I had stayed, something real might have grown. I've walked away before the roots were deep enough to hold and later looked back at the empty soil, wondering what might have blossomed if only I had waited. The ache of both mistakes is the same. Emptiness. The confusion is sharp. You ask yourself, am I staying because I believe or because I'm afraid to leave? Am I letting go because I'm wise or because I'm weary? Stephen once told me, I hold on too long. Roles, responsibilities, duties, even when they've drained me dry. I convince myself it's noble, but sometimes I've forgotten why I'm holding at all. Angela gave me the other side. I let go too quickly. I run before the roots can grow, and then I wonder why nothing feels steady. Their words meet like mirrors. One chained by his grip, the other unmoored by her release. And I find myself caught in their contradiction. Not everything held is worth keeping. Not everything released is freedom. I carry that paradox like a small stone in my pocket, heavy enough to remind me, smooth enough to stay with me. Where do you find yourself tonight? Holding too long or letting go too soon? I once clung to a failing project far too long. It began with excitement, plans laid out on a long table, papers spread like wings ready to lift. Ideas flowed freely, voices buzzed with approval, and for a moment it felt inevitable that we would build something lasting. I poured myself into it. I told myself it would prove my worth. I told myself it would matter. But slowly, cracks appeared. Meetings ended with more questions than answers. Deadlines slipped. What once felt like a fire became embers cooling in silence. I noticed the shift, but ignored it. I told myself it was only a season, that perseverance was virtue, that quitting was failure. Pride held me. Fear held me tighter. So I gripped harder. I sent more emails. I stayed later at my desk. I ignored the fatigue in my bones. I called it devotion, but devotion had soured into denial. When it finally collapsed, it wasn't sudden. It was erosion, slow, invisible, inevitable. A partner withdrew quietly. A meeting was postponed and never rescheduled. The phone stopped ringing. I arrived at the office one morning and realized there was nothing left to arrive for. The silence after collapse was louder than any noise before it. Stephen once confessed, I've held on so long sometimes I forget what I'm even holding. Responsibility becomes habit, and habit becomes prison. Angela echoed the opposite. I've let go too soon, and later I realized it wasn't failure. It was impatience. If I'd stayed, maybe something would have grown. That's the contradiction. Holding on can be devotion or denial. Letting go can be wisdom or cowardice. A grip can keep alive or it can choke. A release can heal or it can abandon. The danger is not in the act itself, but in the blindness behind it. The wisdom is in knowing when to hold and when to release. Holding and releasing are not enemies. They are twins, mirrors, shadows of one another. Each can reveal love, each can reveal fear. It all depends on when and why. I once came across the image of a tree in autumn. Its leaves turn gold, then red, then brown. The tree does not cling past their season. It lets them fall, one by one, knowing that what dies will feed the soil for spring. If the tree clung in fear, it would choke itself. If it shed too early, it would starve. The wisdom of the tree is not in holding or releasing alone, but in timing. Stephen once asked me, "Have you ever held on so long you forgot why?" Angela whispered her own confession. "Have you ever let go too soon and missed what might have grown?" Both questions cut to the same wound: blindness. I've scribbled another line I return to often. Both holding and letting go can be love, if chosen wisely. Life keeps circling me back to that sentence. Sometimes it comes through the memory of a conversation, sometimes through the hush of nature, sometimes through the weight of a mistake that took years to name. Everywhere I turn, the same reminder appears in different clothing. I've learned that letting go doesn't mean abandoning what matters. It's more like softening the grip so you don't crush what you care for. To release can be an act of tenderness, not rejection, a way of giving something the space it needs to live on its own. I've learned too that there are limits no amount of effort can erase. A branch still breaks in winter, no matter how carefully you tend the tree. A loved one still leaves no matter how tightly you try to hold. What withers is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is simply nature finishing its sentence. And I've seen how time itself teaches this. The river flows whether I clutch its banks or not. If I try to dam it with my bare hands, I drown. If I abandon the shore entirely, I lose my way. Only by walking beside it, sometimes stepping in, sometimes stepping back, do I begin to feel its rhythm rather than fight it. Even choice carries its own paradox. Freedom is not the ability to run from everything. Freedom is the moment I pause long enough to see what is worth staying for. It is responsibility disguised as possibility. The courage to commit to the road I am actually on, not the fantasy of 1,000 other roads. So I come back again and again to that line in my journal. Both holding and letting go can be love. One is not automatically better than the other. The wisdom rests in timing, in presence, in honesty. And maybe that's the hardest part. Not the holding, not the releasing, but the seeing. So I ask myself often, am I gripping to prove something, or am I holding because it still breathes? Am I releasing because it is gone, or because I'm afraid of the weight? Sometimes holding on is courage, and sometimes letting go is. There are seasons when both are cowardice, and seasons when both are love. The paradox refuses to hand us a neat answer, but that refusal is its gift, because it doesn't point us towards certainty. It points us back to presence, back to the quiet work of noticing what this moment is really asking of us. A tree in autumn knows the wisdom I've spent years resisting. I walked once through a park where maples lined the path. Their branches reached high, but their leaves cascaded down in slow surrender. Gold and scarlet drifted through air, still fragrant with soil and damp earth. Each step I took was cushioned by a carpet of color. The crunch beneath my boots was a gentle song of endings becoming beginnings. The tree didn't cling, it didn't force, it didn't panic. It simply let go when the season demanded it. And yet that letting go was not a loss. The leaves became soil, feeding roots unseen, preparing for a spring I could not yet imagine. Stephen once said, "I hold responsibilities long past their life because I fear what will happen if I don't." Angela gave me her mirror. I let go too quickly. I move before the roots take hold. And then I wonder why I'm restless. Autumn teaches us. Letting go can feed spring. Holding too long can starve it. I stopped under one tree and looked upward. The branches swayed gently in the breeze, half bare, half dressed. It looked neither dead nor alive, but becoming. That is the truth of all of us, always in the becoming, always between holding and letting go. The leaves fell silently. I closed my eyes and listened. And for a moment, I felt the wisdom of silence. Release is not always loss. Holding is not always gain. Not everything held is worth keeping. Not everything released is freedom. Stephen's voice trembles with the first truth. I've carried roles and responsibilities so long I don't even know if they belong to me anymore. Angela speaks to the second. I run from things too quickly. I tell myself it's freedom, but deep down I know it's avoidance. Their words strike me because I hear both in myself. Holding can be love, but it can also be pride. Letting go can be freedom, but it can also be abandonment. The detour is this: both holding and letting go can be love, if chosen wisely. So I ask myself often, what is the truth beneath my grip? What is the truth beneath my release? Both choices can wound, both choices can heal. Maybe the wisdom is not in clinging forever or releasing forever. Maybe the wisdom is in presence, seeing clearly the season, the timing, the truth of this moment. So I often question myself. What am I afraid to lose if I let go? What am I afraid to face if I keep holding? What love might be hidden in the release? What life might still breathe in the grip? These questions do not end the ache, but they open a road, and sometimes opening a road is enough. Sometimes holding on is courage. Sometimes letting goes. That sentence rests in me tonight as I sit in the quiet. I think of the failing project I clung to, pride blinding me until collapse was the only teacher left. I think of the tree in autumn, releasing what it cannot keep so that life can return. I think of Stephen gripping roles long past their life, and Angela releasing roots before they've grown. Their stories, and mine, remind me of the paradox. There is no single answer, only the courage to choose honestly in each season. Both choices can be love. Both can be fear, The art is never in clinging forever or releasing forever. The art is in knowing which belongs now. So I whisper into the quiet. Maybe courage is not always holding, nor always letting go. Maybe courage is knowing the difference. Ahead, the road bends, and I wonder, what will I be holding and what will I be asked to release when I reach it?